Hey, mamas, it's Mama Fox. I did almost say good morning. It is not morning. This day is just flying by. It is 1 p.m. Central, and on Wednesday, September the 3rd. So, whenever you're seeing this is fine. You can always catch the replays when I go live. Today, we're going to talk about sleep or the lack thereof. We're going to talk about our free sleep challenge that's going on right now that you can just jump into anytime. We're going to talk about some other sleep support things that will help you. I am convinced, totally convinced it will help you. I mean, it may not solve every problem, but it will help you indeed. Y'all come on in. I've got a lot to talk about today. And to be honest with you, it's a little squeezy on my time because I am going live at 2 p.m. Central in my membership group. So I am time constrained. And some of y'all may be like, well, thank goodness because she talks a lot. I do. And let me tell you, I can talk a lot about sleep. A lot about sleep. It's so precious and it's so important. Welcome, ladies. I hope I can... Y'all, there you go, Jeannie. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. I can see your comments. Awesome. So we're going to talk about some logistics first as mamas come in into the group and things. So I've probably done this sleep challenge, this very one. I have probably done it at least 3 times, I would say. And if you've ever taken one of my, multi-week coaching courses or groups or whatever, this habit, this is like my favorite habit. Honestly and truthfully, it actually really is my favorite habit. And it's because it's just a total game changer. It is a total game changer. So this whole thing about sleep and sleep support, this is the secret sauce, okay? This is the secret sauce that will just set everything apart for you. Now, this sleep challenge, it started Monday, but all of my challenges are like this. My purpose in offering free challenges in this free group is that they are simple and easy, and you can jump in at any time to participate. You are never late. It's never too late. If you're just getting here or you're just catching up, or you're just realizing we're doing a free challenge and you didn't do it Monday and Tuesday, it doesn't matter. You can do it today. That's so important. And truly, most of my challenges, maybe not all of them, but most of my free challenges, I select habits or things to practice that anybody can do. It doesn't cost you anything. Anybody can do it, no matter what eating or exercise regimen they're committed to or testing out. And so that is really why I say to you, if you've got some mama friends who are wanting to work on improving their health journey, invite them into this challenge. This is such an important one that anybody can do this challenge. Here's the cool part. Whether your sleep is great or terrible, you can do this challenge, because the challenge isn't get 8 hours of sleep tonight. That's not the challenge. The challenge is something that if you repeatedly do over and over, you will have a positive impact on your life and your sleep. Okay. Now, I can't guarantee that it's going to make you have 8 hours of sleep. It might not. It could. I don't know. But that isn't the purpose of this particular challenge at all. The purpose is to help you start realizing that there are things you certainly can do to help yourself sleep better, rest better, be more at peace, have better stress management. This habit that we're doing right now will help you in all of those areas and get back your time. This habit that we're doing with getting offline by 9, okay, it's so much bigger even than just sleep. Although that's important. It's just bigger because it will give you back some of your time. So one thing I want to do, hey ladies, One thing I'm going to do real quick, because there's been some confusion, I think, about the post. So every day this week and next and through the weekend, because guess what? Saturday is not a national holiday. This coming Saturday, there's nothing in particular about it. This coming Sunday. So we're going to do this challenge even on the weekend. None of us, I don't think, well, I shouldn't say that, but I don't think any of us are 21 years old and needing to like stay up till 3 a.m. this weekend doing something crazy, right? This weekend is really no different than Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. So we're going to treat it like it's important to our sleep, okay? So there's going to be posted every day until all the way through Sunday the 14th. That's the last day of our challenge. And there's a new post every day. This week it says Monday, week 1, Tuesday, week 1, and next week it'll say Monday, week 2, Tuesday, week 2. So you'll see the graphic, and the graphic's going to have a lovely bedroom that we all wish we could have, because I can assure you mine's not quite that lovely. It's nice, but it's not quite that curated. But there'll be a lovely bedroom picture, some little touches of color, and it will say the day of the week and which week. And there's going to be one of those every day. Now, I've got everything scheduled now, ladies, so that today's post, Wednesday, week 1, it's going to post tonight at 8 p.m. Central. That's just a reminder, okay? And like when it posts tonight, when the Wednesday posts tonight, I don't want none of y'all commenting. I mean, don't say did it, because you ain't done did it, okay? So Wednesday's post, you're going to comment on that post tomorrow or the next day. It's okay to check in a day or two later. That's fine. You're going to comment on the Wednesday week 1 post the day after, not on the day, because you haven't done it yet. Now, if you want to say what your intention is, like, and I do that sometimes to kind of bump it, I might say, I'm going to get off by this time, and then I'm going to do something. I might do that, but that's not me checking in yet, because I ain't done do it, okay? So if I do what I say I'm going to do, if I do the challenge, then on Thursday I'll come back and say, did it. I might even reply to my comment. That's a great way to do it too. I might reply to my own comment if I can find it and just say, I did it, okay? So I'm real quick, because I am going to get to some teaching part here, but I just want to do some logistics first, okay? So real quick, I'm going to turn y'all, you see my random wheel of names over there for my membership group. Got that on one screen, ready to go for that, because we do monthly winners. We'll do August winners today and have prizes and stuff. Okay, I'm going to turn y'all around real quick, okay? And I hope I don't, yeah, there we go. So here's our group, okay? Here's our group. And when you come into the group, the easiest way to find the post is going to be in the pinned featured. I cannot get this any closer. But do you see where it says featured? This is like a scrolling sideways bulletin board. That's the best way I can describe it. The featured section is one of the tabs under the cover photo. And I know people's phones can be a little different. Hey, Miss Yolanda. So it can be a little different, but the featured post is like a scrolling sideways bulletin board. Here's Mondays, okay? So if you got offline by 9 Monday, or whatever that means for you, the goal is 1 hour before lights out. Get off your small screens, okay? We'll talk more about that in a second. But if you did it Monday, you can go to the Monday post. 92 of you have already commented. And then for Tuesday, 52 of you have commented. So we need about 40 more people. I hope you did it. You can come and catch up there, okay? And so what you'll see, this is the top post right now. This is in our newsfeed. Although probably this video is at the top of it, okay? You'll see that it says Tuesday. Tuesday, week 1, and the date. And then all the posts are going to say the same stuff, just to kind of make sure you can read all of that. You can unfold it. That way people who are coming in, who are going to be coming in later can find it, okay? And know and just jump in and all that kind of stuff, okay? And then you can comment. And here's me trying to be like, this is your reminder. This is your reminder. But you'll see it says Tuesday, week 1. And tonight at 8 p.m. Central, okay? Tonight, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central, the Wednesday post will post to remind you. And if you see it, if you're on the East Coast and you see that Wednesday post, it's time to get off because it's 9 p.m. your time if I'm posting it at 8 p.m. Over here, okay? So that's how that's going to work. And like I said, you can check in a day or two. You don't have to check in. Well, you shouldn't check in on that day, okay? Now, let's talk about this. I'm going to turn y'all back around so we can chit-chat. Okay. Oh, terrible. Sorry about that angle. Now, let's say that you didn't do it quite right. Let's say that you commented Monday before the time. You can fix that, or you can change it or leave it. It doesn't matter. You can go back and comment the right way. It doesn't matter. We're not going to worry about that too much. I just wanted to explain how that's going to work. That's just the logistics, okay? That's generally how all of my free challenges work here. We're going to have another free challenge next month. I don't always do them back to back, but we are this time. So we're going to have another free challenge next month. And y'all better know we're going to have, if you've been here any time, we're going to have our Advent Calendar free challenge December 1st and through the 12th. That one is so much fun. We will be doing that too. So that's just generally how they work. And at the end, the last day for this challenge is September the 14th. That's a Sunday. You'll have Monday and Tuesday of that week to kind of catch up and comment. Again, let's make this fun and easy. This is not stressful. It's not perfection. It's not who can complete every single day. I don't do that. It's not like that. I want you to participate as much as you can, as often as possible. But like if you miss a night, okay, no big deal. It's no big deal, okay? And then what we'll do is we will have a finalist from every single day of the challenge. So we're going to have, how many would that be? Would that be, I don't know if that would be 14, right? Because we started on Monday. Yes, so we'll have 14 finalists, okay? And we'll be doing random wheel of names for that. We'll have 2 random wheel of names, one for each week, one with 7 finalists and 7 finalists, and then we'll spin those on a live on September 17th. So that's the next live here in this group is in 2 weeks on September 17th. We'll do a little more talking about sleep, and we'll do our wheel of names spinners with our finalists, and we'll have 2 winners, okay? 2 winners from that. So stay tuned, okay? Stay tuned, and I will go live at 1 p.m. Central on Wednesday the 17th. And I'll announce that a couple of days ahead of time too, but y'all can mark that down for sure. All right, now let's talk a little bit about just generally this particular sleep challenge and how it works, okay? So the habit is getting offline by 9, partly because it rhymes. I love it. But partly because I think generally most people are aiming to get the lights out by 10ish or so. Okay. Now I want you to feel free to adjust that offline time to whatever matches up with your personal lights out bedtime. And I know that factors involved there are spouses, teen and young adult kids, your job, what time you have to wake up in the morning, all that plays into that. So if your bedtime is actually 8 p.m. lights out, then your offline needs to be 7 p.m. Or if your bedtime, because of maybe some early shift work or something like that, or not early, but a different shift of work the next day, if your bedtime is actually 2 a.m. because of interesting schedules and work, then 1 a.m. is your offline, okay? So it's whatever is 1 hour before you're turning the lights out, Okay? So just adjust that and please participate. Okay? Now, the reason we're doing what we're doing is, oh my goodness, so many of us have gotten into that habit, and this has been mine in the past too, but so many of us have gotten into the habit of holding that phone or that iPad or whatever in our hand, just a little distance from our face, not that far away, and scrolling. And the problem with that is, first of all, having light shining into your face from whatever device it is, that up close, is messing with your hormones. It is messing with your neurotransmitters. And I always get asked, well, what about Kindles? Well, what about Kindles? Doesn't matter. It's still bright light shining in your face. Even if you've got it dimmed, it's still directly shining in your face. And then I get asked, well, what about blue blocking glasses? Guess what? I would challenge you to do a little research about what does the research and data actually say about the impact of blue blockers and different settings, whatever, on these devices. It's not conclusive. It's not conclusive at all as far as, oh, it's fine. It's not going to bother your sleep. So I do want you to consider getting off those devices. Your ebook readers and things like that an hour before lights out. So if you want to use it up until that point, then switch to a book or do something different. Go take a bath with Epsom salt. That's a great way to unwind for sure. Do consider doing some things like that. These are some of the things we're going to talk about in the sleep workshop that I'm doing next week. I hope you'll join us, because as a sleep certified coach, I have some things to share with y'all. I have some really important things to talk about in regards to sleep. Not just, I know a lot of stuff about sleep, and there's a lot of information there that's fascinating, kind of, not alarming, but just like, oh, I didn't know that happened when I sleep. No wonder, I'm going to share some things like that, some facts and information. Yes, that is important, and that's coming. However, obviously, what's more important for most of us is, and what am I supposed to do about it? I hear you, Mama Fox. Sleep's important. I agree. It ain't happening here. So what am I supposed to do about it? And we're definitely going to be covering a lot of that and a lot of different tools and helps and support in that workshop for sure. And so with this sleep challenge we're doing here, this is one way that you can support yourself. And I will say, what I've usually done in the past is said, when it comes to e-readers or Kindles or whatever, and you're using all these settings that are supposed to help, and you're using the glasses that are supposed to help, if you're getting restful, deep, ample sleep after doing that, and you wake up the next morning, and after just a little bit, you're like, woo, I feel rested. I feel good. I'm ready to start my day. Then go for it. Use those things. But if you have been struggling with staying asleep, or, waking up maybe to go potty and struggling to get back to sleep in the middle of the night. But if you're not getting enough sleep, and you know that, or if you're struggling to, most of us don't necessarily struggle to fall asleep. The greater problem seems to be we fall asleep because we're exhausted, because we've just gone 90 to nothing all day long, and then we wake up and we can't go back to sleep. And or if you get up the next morning and you're dragging and you don't feel ready to start the day. If you wake up in the morning when your alarm goes off probably, and you're like, man, I could use another hour or two. Well then, mama, maybe that e-reader and those blue blocking glasses aren't cutting it, okay? And I like I said, and when I announced I was going to talk to y'all today, I know I may be stepping on some toes, but sleep is so important. It's so important for so many reasons. And the longer I've learned about sleep, the more I've dug into it, the more I've realized, oh my goodness, you could be eating perfect and lifting heavy and doing your walks, but if your sleep is not where it needs to be, you may not, you probably won't ever get to your goal weight. You probably won't. It's that important because of how it interplays with the hunger and satiety hormones, how it interplays with insulin resistance. And I did not even used to know or understand that part when I started talking about sleep so much a few years ago in my coaching. I just knew that, man, if mama don't get enough sleep, ain't nobody gonna be happy because mama won't be happy. And we kind of know that, and we kind of try to fake it till we make it. Ever done that? Because I have. I have faked it till I make it with not getting restful sleep or enough sleep, and you just have to, like, you know, put on your happy face and try to be nice to everybody, or at least everybody outside your home, but of course the people in your home get your worst. Or is that just me? Am I the only one? Surely not. But been there, done that, and I realized, okay, wait a minute, this isn't good for me or my family. And that's definitely been a journey for sure. But, you know, I used to have struggles with sleep because I didn't honor it. I didn't take care of it. Yeah, pushing on through with a happy face, right? With a smile on our face, at least to the outside world. And then, you know, I felt like my family would get scraps, if you know, figurative scraps. Sometimes, for sure, especially poor hubby. But, you know, I mean, and it is true. If you're not rested, if you haven't been restored through your sleep, which is a God-given gift and rhythm, it just is. It's amazing and beautiful, but we just don't honor it. Like we don't realize how important that rest and restoration is during that overnight period of anywhere from, 7-8 hours. And I know many of it, myself included, like I don't typically ever get 8 hours of sleep. I'm not sure, not everyone needs 8 hours of sleep. Some people certainly don't need quite that much, and some people need a little more. And it changes throughout your life, okay? So obviously when you're when you're like a preteen, when you're a kid, you need different amounts. When you're a baby, you need different amounts. I mean, it changes throughout your life. So, and that is certainly true. But of course, it helps you with how you treat and react to your spouse, your kids, your coworkers, all those people, right? It also impacts how you even feel about yourself and your home and doing the things around the house and the yard. It impacts how much, leftover time and energy or motivation that you have to put towards maybe hobbies or activities or whatever. I mean, it does all those things for sure. And that's why I've always been really like, we need to address this, because many of us are, okay, I want to lose some weight. I want to work on my meal prep, and I want to make better choices with my food, and I want to have the energy and the time and the brain to think about that, and I want to improve my exercise, and I want to exercise more. And we think about those things, and we kind of know, well, if I sleep better, that's going to help me do those things better. And that is true, but it's bigger than that, because again, the interplay of hormones and the interplay of healing and restoration in your body processes, in your body systems, with those hormones and neurotransmitters, all those things directly impact how you go about that the next day. It's so important. So in the sleep workshop that I am doing starting next week, it's a 1-week workshop, and I did one of these a few years ago, and there will definitely, somebody asked, and this is a good question, there will be some overlap, of course. There will be some overlap, but this is a whole new workshop. I've learned so much more in the past 2 or so years since doing that one. And again, I've learned so much more about the hormones and insulin resistance and how tightly those are interwoven with sleep and all that. So that will be brought in there too, and what we can do about that. So with what we're talking about here with the offline by 9, what we're doing for ourselves with that is we're getting that small screen out of our face, shining into our face. And that is very important for our melatonin and other things. The other thing we're doing though, by getting off of our small phone, which many of us get caught up in, oh, I'm going to check into social media, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. The thing that we need to realize is that's an endless scroll. Have any of y'all ever gotten to the end of your Facebook scroll or your Instagram scroll? Have you ever found the end of that scroll? I haven't. It doesn't end. There is no end to that Facebook or Instagram scroll or YouTube scroll or whatever it is. There is no end. And we can just keep going and going and going, and that's what we do. And we get, and I've done it myself, maybe not usually at night, but sometimes where you see something funny, okay, it's a cat video and they're hilarious, and you tap on that video, and so then now you're in the Instagram reels, and that doesn't end either. It just keeps going and going and going. There is no end. But guess what? If you're reading a book, there's an end to the chapter. There's an end to the book. Sometimes the chapters have sections, and you can be like, okay. And I know some of you are like, oh, but if I start reading, I'll just keep reading and reading and reading. Well, at least it's feeding your mind better. I hope you are able to put a pause and a bookmark in it. And I know my girls have laughed because they are such fast readers. It's insane. 2 of them in particular. And, their motto is bookmarks are for quitters. Because they will just push on through. Bookmarks are for quitters. I don't agree with that. I love my bookmarks. I have some really cute bookmarks. But we need to keep in mind that scroll will keep going on and on. So that's a problem too with staying on our phone. Now, a good question I get asked is, well, what about the TV? No, that is not the same problem at all. The TV is usually across the room. It's not directly in your face. And when you're watching TV, typically that's going to be like a movie or a show. Those have endings. Or it's going to be a ball game. Those have endings. I know ball games sometimes can go late. I get it. But that's not like you're probably not watching your favorite team every single day of the week, because usually your favorite team probably only plays once a week, right? But those things have endings. The phone scroll, that doesn't have an ending. And so that can be very problematic. But the TV is across the room, okay? And so, so you can certainly watch a movie or a favorite show or a ball game with or without. I mean, you can do it yourself, but you can certainly do that after 9 p.m. That is not what this is about, okay? So I hope that brings some relief to some of y'all, because it is football season, college football season. I hear there's pro football, but who cares about pro football? I only care about college. But that's probably because we don't have a pro team here. Actually, I don't even know if I would care. But love me some college football, okay? So yes, you can watch those things on your TV from across the way after offline by 9. That's not what the purpose of the offline by 9 is. The other problem with the social media scroll right there is the decision fatigue that you don't even realize is happening. Because the one kind of negative thing, well, there's lots of negative things I know about social media, but there's some great ones too. We get to talk. We get to do things together. We get to meet from all over the place. There's some wonderful things about social media. There's some not great things about social media. And one of those things you might not realize is that when you're scrolling, and whether it's Instagram, Facebook, even YouTube, there's a lot of split second little mini decisions that are happening constantly. Should I comment on this post? What should I comment on this post? Should I really tell them what I think, or should I just make a joke? Or should I just not say anything? Probably that one, right? Should I like it, love it? Oh, on Facebook, we have several options for reactions to post. Should I share it? Who should I share it to? Oh, I better not share it to those people. Oh, I better go to my settings and block those people from seeing this post. Oh, so many decisions. Do I want to save the post? Okay. Yes. Do I really want to get into an online debate with someone from, 5 states over? Don't do that. Please don't do that. You're not going to convince anybody. Okay. Don't do that. It doesn't work. But you have all these things to decide. And even if you're like me and my newsfeed is pretty carefully curated on social media to show me uplifting, positive things that will fill my soul, bring me joy. I don't want to see the negative. I have zero desire. I don't want to see the negative. It's not that I'm putting my head in the sand about, world events and news. It's not that. But I can click on, the different news, what do you call it? Instagram things or whatever. I can't think of the word for that, but I can click on those. If I want to go see what the news is, I'll go and I'll check out the news. Okay. I can go to their profile and I can do that, but I don't want it in my feed. It's not going to feed my soul. It's not going to bring me joy. But we have instant access at the tap of a finger if we want to know what's going on. Okay. So I would encourage you to consider just generally curating, what do you want to see in your news feed? I know what I want to see, and I have my little short list of who I want to see and what I want to see and the kinds of information, and it's uplifting and it's stuff I enjoy and things that I can send to my oldest 2 daughters sometimes, and we do that back and forth on Instagram a lot. So think about that, and just think about all those decisions that you're making when you're on social media, even if it's positive, even if it's your favorite music group or cats, or cozy little sweet post. It's still a lot of decisions, and so that's the last thing we need to be doing at night, is making these constant little split-second decisions that wear you down. It's called decision fatigue, because it is tiring and fatiguing. And at night, that is when we need to be restful in our brain. That's when we need to be getting our brain and our spirit ready for rest. Okay? And I always joke, because my favorite genre of book to read at night is a relaxing murder mystery. It's definitely probably an oxymoron a little bit, but what I do during my last hour or two, I wanted to share that with you so that maybe it gives you some ideas of what you could do with your time. Okay. And one of the things I want to say in regards to that is, we all have the same number of, yes, I am very diligent, Christine, with getting the negativity out. I do. I pull the weeds. I'd rather pull those weeds than outside weeds in a way. But I do. And, obviously on social media, the more you interact with those profiles that are positive or uplifting, the more it'll show you that usually. But again, it's not that I'm not aware of what the news is generally speaking, but I don't need to soak myself in that constantly all day, every day. I don't want to marinate in it. I don't want to marinate in news and current events. I want to be aware, I do, but I can go to, whatever news media outlet I want to hear from. I can go to their profile myself and just see, okay, what's going on? What do I need to know? I don't need to know everything. I really don't. I don't need to know every piece of news that's happening in every country or every state. I don't. I cannot do anything about much of that. But sometimes, we need to be aware. I'm like, okay, what's going on? But I can just go there. I don't have to have them in my news feed. I don't even have to follow that news source, right? So I want you to think about that. You don't have to follow, and I'm thinking of Instagram in particular, but like you don't have to follow a particular news source and have that showing up in your feed. You can go to their news profile page anytime you want to see what the news is, right? So just kind of think about that, like some ways you can do that. I have, so on Instagram, I don't have a personal Instagram account. I just have my Coach Mama Fox Instagram. And I sprinkle some personal things into my Instagram stories. I like to do that some. I don't have a lot of personal on my page, but kind of. I mean, like I might show Tom and I, my husband, on a walk or something like that. But to me, that's part of the healthy living vibe, is going on walks and getting outside and things like that. But in my news feed, even though it's my business, in my own personal news feed on Instagram, I definitely follow, some health related profiles, whether they're doctors or coaches or whatever. I do follow all that, definitely. But then I have my favorite music group that I follow a lot of fan pages of, because that brings me a lot of joy and I want to see that. And then I also have some different type of like Christian, spiritual type, Bible type profiles I follow, some, women, some that are just for women as well, just different things like that. So just, you can definitely curate your news feed for sure. That's kind of an aside, but I think it's really important. And I want you to just think about that at night, that hour or two. If you've been here for a long time, like Miss Christina Brown, like I'm challenging those of you who have already been there, done that with the Offline by 9 for like a long time, because you've been here for a while. I am challenging myself and those of you who have been there, done it, to maybe get offline by 8. Okay? And that's a stretch. And I'm not going to probably make that every time. And I'm not putting that on everyone at all. But I'm trying to stretch myself in how I'm using my time, how I'm spending my time, and what am I doing to prepare myself for, hey girl, what I'm doing to prepare myself to be ready to go to sleep. This is the thing I want you to realize. We can't just expect to go through the day 90 to nothing, especially in our brain, and then just get in the bed and go to sleep. But no, it is a process. There is a process here, and we used to do that with our babies and our toddlers and our preschoolers, right? You help them get ready for sleep, right? Because you can't just get in the bed all of a sudden and expect to go to sleep. There is a process of peeling off the layers of the day, figuratively, literally as well, but you have to peel off those layers of the day. You're going to probably take a shower or a bath, perhaps. You're going to put on your jammies. You might light a candle or an essential oil diffuser. You're turning the lights down, right? You're putting on the lamps. You're doing these things to prepare. And it's like when your kids were little, when they were babies and toddlers and preschoolers, and you would, I know here, like, whether they was dirty or not, they're getting a bath. They're getting a nice warm bath in the evening, right? And they're getting their jammies. And then what else do? You read them a bedtime story or 5, right? Your voice is coming down some. We would turn the lights down here and just have on lamps. And we still do that, but we would certainly do it when they were little. You're doing those kinds of things for your babies or maybe your grandbabies. You need to do them for yourself. You need to do them for yourself. You've got to unplug. You've got to peel off the layers of the day, literally and figuratively, okay? So important to make sure that you're doing what you need to do to help your mind and your body and your spirit be ready to go into restful sleep. There's lots of other things you can do. And like I said, I'm going to talk more about those in the sleep workshop that's coming up. It starts Monday. I'm so excited. I mean, it's really literally probably one of my favorite topics. It's so much to unpack in regards to sleep and how powerful it is, so much. And my heart in this, I'm gonna step on some toes. Y'all ready? My heart in this is, like, I so desperately want to help each and every one of you to sleep better and more deeply. I so want to do that. And I became a sleep certified coach, partly because I wanted to learn more for myself, but because I wanted to, like, let y'all know, hey, I didn't just go read a book. I didn't just Google some stuff and then now I'm telling you about it. I felt like it was so important that I wanted to be certified so I could say to you, this is how important this is. I took the time and the effort to get a certification because it's that important. And when I did that a couple of years ago or so, I didn't even realize then how important it was, because I've continued to learn and dig more and more and more. But I so desperately want to help you. But are you ready to help yourself? Are you ready to get serious about this? Because I feel like one of the things I see over and over again is so many ladies will comment or post, but usually comment about how, they wake up in the middle of the night and they can't go back to sleep. Or they're not getting enough sleep, or, it's midnight or 1 p.m. before they're able to go to sleep. And there definitely can be some other factors and reasons, of course. But generally, what I also have observed is that many women, especially women, many are not considering what they need to do to help themselves get into sleep and stay asleep. Now, those same women will have a list of sleep supplements this long because popping a pill sure is easier than unplugging, right? Because if you get offline by 9 or 8, but if you get offline by 9, what are you going to do for the next hour or so? You got to figure out something to do, right? You got to fill that time. I'm going to share with you what I do in just a second. But they'll have a list of supplements this long because popping a pill or putting an oil under your tongue or whatever is easier. But that's not going to cut it. It might help. There are things that can be helpful and supportive, of course. But that isn't going to cut it if the other things you're doing are fighting against it. Okay? It's so important. So what I do at night generally is, and this is general, okay? Obviously, there are circumstances that sometimes prevent it or interrupt it. I have 3 that might interrupt it, and they are ages 19, 20, and 22. Okay, so things do get interrupted sometimes, but generally I have a rhythm that I follow because honestly, most of the days over here are similar. Monday is similar to Saturday. It's not a lot of variation, especially in the nighttime, generally. So obviously we eat supper. And then I at least get the food put away from supper. And then I try to go out for an evening walk. Now, I know come winter when, it's dark at like 4 p.m., that's going to have to be a little different. But hey, there are cheap reflective vests that you can put on to walk in your neighborhood or whatever. And we have some of those around here. So I'll just adjust. And I know, Linda, you were talking about that it's getting harder to go for a walk in the morning. Yeah, I know, because the days are just getting a little shorter, just a little. But you can be creative. But those reflective vests, they're cheap. They don't look great, but we have some, our neighbors have some, because they have a dog that needs to get walked at those hours and stuff. So I typically try to go for a walk. Usually my husband will go with me on a walk, and it can be quick. It doesn't have to be long, but just a little after dinner walk. And then we'll come back in and I'll finish cleaning the kitchen. And that's one thing, like I said, I'm putting the food up because I don't want the food to sit out. But as far as like cleaning up the kitchen, that usually happens after my walk so I can get out there before it gets dark, at least right now. And that's why September is a great time to take advantage of cooler, slightly cooler temps, slightly earlier days, but it ain't dark at 4 p.m. yet, okay? So let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy this season. September is such a great month, right? October as well. So we do that. I come back in. I clean up the rest of the kitchen. Usually my son is here to praise the Lord, do the dishes. Hallelujah. I know that won't last forever, but for now it is. Then I set up our coffee. I get our coffee set for the next morning because we're not playing around with coffee nor sleep. Both are precious. So I get the coffee set up. And then by that point, it's usually like 7:30 maybe by that point, give or take. Could be getting close to 8. And so then I go and if we're not, we might play a family game sometimes. So we might play a family game, perhaps. But if not, I go ahead and I get ready for bed. And honestly, for me, that usually means I get a shower at night. Not every night, but I usually take my shower at night. And so I try to do that as soon as I can so my hair can dry. But I'll go and get ready for bed, get the makeup off or whatever, do my face creams and that kind of stuff, get my jammies on. And then if it's early, like if it's 8 p.m.-ish or if it's 8:30 p.m. and it's early, I will get my planner. Look at this pretty color. Can y'all tell? It's like this soft, rusty orange. I'm so excited. I get my planner and I'll work in my planner just to kind of do some brain dumping, some gratitude. I have a place in my planner that I created. Y'all have heard me talk about this before, but I know it's backwards, but it says thankful and positives. So I'll write in there either in the evening or the next morning. It's one or the other. My power hour at night and my power hour in the morning. I will write down 3 things I'm thankful for that are very specific to that day. And I'll write down 3 positive things I did that day. And I do that to remind myself of the little things that we can just so easily let pass, and we don't stop to think about, hey, I cooked a good supper tonight. That was a good thing I did today. I'm not gonna meditate. I'm not gonna meditate nor marinate in the things I didn't get done, because it's the end of the day. And I'm not going to worry about the things I didn't get done. If it was something that really actually has to get done, then I can put it in my planner for tomorrow or a different day that week. And I can go ahead and brain dump that into my planner at night and get that out of my brain. I've saved it in my planner. It'll get done eventually if it's actually important. If it's not important, it might not get done. I'm going to let it go. It gives me something to think about, like all these things. And I only write down 3 things I'm thankful for. I do limit it. But that causes me to start thinking through the day in a positive light. And I'll be thinking about other things I'm thankful for and stuff like that. So I do that if I have time in the evening. If not, I do it in the morning. But usually I have time to do a little bit in my planner. And then it's time to read my book. And I'm not a super fast reader. And sometimes, I read a few pages and I get sleepy and whatever. But I read a fiction book that I enjoy at night. And that is what I do. And one other thing that has become a part of my nighttime there is I do drink a glass of apple cider vinegar diluted with water, a little bit of ice, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and with a straw. Okay. And I usually do that I'm not doing that at 9:30 at night. I'm usually doing that at like 8-ish, something like that. Okay. And so I've loved doing that kind of thing. That's the kind of stuff I do at night like that. Sometimes if it's during that like 8 to 9 p.m. time frame or early 9 p.m., sometimes I will fold towels because I didn't fold them during the day, and I will fold them right before bed, or I'll put the laundry up. That's another thing. I don't typically do that during the busy time of the day, even though I'm here at home. I do 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar at night, or in the evening like that, diluted in water with a straw. Now, if I'm going to eat a really carby meal, like really carby, especially something like, G Daddy's Hush Puppies and fish fry night, okay? But if I eat something really carby, I will try my best to remember to do my apple cider vinegar before that carby meal to help with the blood glucose and stuff. And if I forget, I'll do it right after the meal because better late than never. But generally, if I'm not eating something like that, I just do it at night, okay? But I have learned that I'm not gonna prioritize folding the towels or putting up laundry during the day when I could be doing other more busy things that require my brain or whatever, because those things don't. I mean, I'll get the laundry done during the day because that's easy. You just throw it in and walk away. But as far as folding towels and putting up laundry and putting the socks together, all that, I do that as part of my nighttime now because it's kind of, I hate to say relaxing, but it's peaceful. I don't have to think about it. I'm not making a decision. It's just doing something like that and putting it away. It doesn't take that long. It doesn't take that long at all. But that's actually become part of my nighttime instead of my daytime, okay? So those are some things I do as part of my nighttime. And, like I said, sometimes we might play a game. Sometimes we don't watch a lot of TV here. So sometimes there might be a movie night every once in a while, not very often. But that certainly is totally fine. It's across the hall. It's across the way, I mean. I would encourage you, though, and this is a big one, if that TV is in the bedroom, it needs to go somewhere else, okay? That TV needs to be in the den, all right? So, because that's not going to be conducive to good sleep at all, okay? I know that's a hard one, but that's just something to kind of maybe work as a goal to like kind of work on. You can certainly work on just getting it turned off a little earlier, but having it in the bedroom is not the best idea for sure. Okay. So anyway, that's what we're doing here. Sleep challenge offline by 9. It will help support yourself getting into sleep mode. Okay. It will help support that. Is it going to solve every one of your sleep problems? Probably not, but it is a big one that will certainly go a long way to helping you. I'm going to talk about a bunch more in the sleep workshop next week, so I hope you'll join us in that. It's $14 for the sleep workshop. $21 if you want the replays, the lifetime self-paced replays. In the sleep workshop, I will go live every day at 2 p.m. Central next week. Of course, you can always watch any of my lives. You can always watch the replay later that day or the next day or whatever like that. But we'll talk more about all of that and so much more in the sleep workshop. And one of the things I want you to think about again is, you say you want more sleep, you want help, are you helping yourself? And this is a big way that you can do that. And here's the thing, the bonus of this offline by 9 is that it's going to give you back time. Just getting off that hour or so before bed is going to give you back some of your time that is so much more restorative and healing and peaceful than scrolling social media, okay? It's going to give you back some time where you can spend some time in a planner. You could spend some time journaling. You could spend some time reading a favorite book, fiction or nonfiction, whatever you want to do with that. You can spend some time connecting with the people that are actually in your house, right? As opposed to the people that are in your phone. Not that I don't love connecting with the people in my phone, I do, but the people in my house are really important, right? So I want you to think about those things. Y'all participate in this challenge. It's free. You didn't have to sign up. I didn't ask for your email. You didn't have to do anything but just show up in this group and check in to the designated post. I'll explain that at the front of this video. Invite your mama friends in to this simple challenge. I know it might not be easy, but it is simple and it's so powerful. And the women who have gone through my coaching and done this, many of them were grumpy about it at first. Many of them grumbled about it at first, and then those same women will tell you now it's one of the best things they ever did for their health, but also for their life. It is a big deal, okay? All right, ladies, I have to skedaddle. I'm going to go live in my membership group next to talk to my membership mamas about sleep, some deeper things about sleep, because that's our focus in the membership group over there. And so thanks for hanging out with me. Invite your mama friends in. And remember, when you literally invite your mama friends to our Facebook group, they get to see it for like a few weeks. But if they don't accept the invite from their notifications, Facebook just doesn't let them be in the group anymore. So they have to accept the invite. Make sure you tell your mama friends that, okay? All right, bye, ladies.